What brought you to Liberia?
That was definitely meant to be. I've always wanted to surf West Africa. So I flew bikini and I wanted to go overland to Ghana. No plans, nothing. And you just changed that will be for me. So thank you.
I mean, how we met is you came on a motorcycle with a Liberian guy when your massive surfboard driving since 14 hours, 2 hours that on the motorcycle ride to reach Robertsport. Yeah, that's fun. Your life has not always been so smooth. I mean, when I hear, I'm a student girl, I'm shouting the world on my surfboard.
It's a good start.
I'm living in the Emirates, I'm living a dream life. But life is not just that, right? Life is everything. So, I mean, how much of your story would like to share? Go. Just play you the ball.
Okay. So, yeah, I grew up in a small town, a very small town. Low socioeconomic, only a small school, and none of my family had ever finished high school. I don't think anyone had finished grade 10. My father was an addict, and my mother, I'm sure she's also an addict and bipolar, undiagnosed. So I was kicked out.
And you were a 14-year-old.
Whoa! Is this real?
What do you mean by kicked out? My mother had a government-appointed counselor by the time. It would come around and do like fortnightly check-ins with her. I was obviously too young to understand what it was for or what it was, but we also lived in free government housing, and my mother got government benefits. Being a single parent as well, that is not the job. But yeah, and then her government counselor said, your mother is financially and mentally unstable to have kids in the house, Italy.
In Italy? To where?
Yeah, and that's it. I have a little sister. She ran to my grandma's house and called my grandmother everything was bipolar. And I've now found out that my little sister also was undiagnosed bipolar. Whoa. So, yeah, I just were on your own. Yeah, it was the day before the school term started. So I said, okay, I'll leave tomorrow. And I had to go to school the next day, the first day of term. And just asked if you'd be able to practice to stay with it. I stayed with one friend for like a month. And her family were beautiful. But she was very similar to in the surroundings that I grew up in.
What are you having for dinner, actually?
Sardines and rice cakes.
Rice cakes. When people hear about Australia, they always think, wow, Australia is it's like cool, like surfing, like everything is smooth, sunshine, beach vibes. But I mean, that's what makes me also interview you, is because I think sometimes we look at someone and we think you have an idea, but we never know. Like, you can't judge in person just for you right now. True, right? And I think we all have our package.
Like a concert.
You are inspiring me because it's not, you can't take it as normal that from what you have been born into and all these circumstances, I mean, you really managed your life, you turned around your life.
Definitely, reflectively, so great, because then everyone around me was, I guess, there was no inspiration, there's no one aspiring to do anything, everyone playing the victim, stealing, lying. It's just not a nice space to be in. So I'm grateful that I got out of that space. I was pushed out, I guess.
But what helped you? I mean, you were a 14-year-old. What helped you to not lose it? Like, to not lose or to have a path? Like,
I think that I just must have been fueled by adrenaline, like survival skills, like it's fight or flight. Like, I didn't have another option. Like, oh, I had to do it. So,
but you already learned that while you were still living with your mom, I guess, right? I mean, if you have a bipolar mom, right? I already guess like you were the grown up there, right? Like,
yeah, I met some really good people on the way. I don't know, maybe I am a little bit naive to the people that I meet in my everyday life now, because the people that I met throughout my journey to become an adult that supported me, that let me in their homes, that would pat me on the back when I was crying, would help me organize stuff to school, those people were always so kind and so supportive and asked for nothing. And I think that's why I genuinely think and see the best in others too.
But was there someone permanently there next to you, like somewhat stable? So it was like you were one winter, 1 month. But why did you change the places? Because you felt like you shouldn't be there for too long?
Oh, because my friend that I stayed with, and she got into drugs and stuff, I made the choice to get out because I knew that I had to go to school. I had to finish. I couldn't just do what everyone else around me was doing. So then whoever at the school bus that I called, whoever said, go home with us tonight, I would go home with. And then another family.
So you had your little school bag and
Yes, that's it. That's it. Literally nothing else.
oh,
Nothing else. Just my school bag and old jackets.
and people kept feeding you and yeah, but what does the government do for you?
I will shout out to the Australian government. Within 4 days of being like no parent, no guardian, they had put a fortnightly payment into my account that you're entitled to if you live in like a certain level of poverty. At 16 years old, they usually give it to kids when you're allowed to start the workforce, but I was 40 and they put it in my bank account fortnightly. And I never had money, so
You had to manage money. You were 40, so you had to see how much do I have, how much can I spend, how much do I need to spend.
and I had no idea what to buy, what to do.
Yeah, was it something you could grow into easily or head scrape?
There was literally, it was fight or flight. Like, there's so much in my life that I feel like I don't even know that I learned it because I had to learn it so fast because there was no one to teach me and there was no one to ask questions.
And you never went back to your grandmother to stay with her because of that situation, years passes.
Yeah, I just didn't have a feeling like, I feel like everyone in my family and my circle and the community there it's so low socioeconomic that everyone plays the victim to some extent. But it doesn't feel like support. It feels like a waste hole. Like no one wants to help themselves.
It's interesting that you say victim role, because I feel like this victim role, if we are all very honest to ourselves, we all have this in a relation to someone or something. I mean, for myself, I sometimes have this victim role, or I've had this victim role in my family. It's like, yeah, my mother is not seeing me, my father doesn't care about me, or comparing yourself to friends, they have more than me,
Yeah.
Or you play yourself above someone while saying, oh, this cool little one, but this is another thing. How did you never have this victim really? Like, did you find yourself superior to them, or what was your actual feeling? Like, you are part of that community, but also you found yourself different, right? So
I don't feel like I had like a connection, like
I'm not from here.
yeah, or like I'm from here, but like this isn't the height of what I want for myself, my future, for the people that I care about in my life. Like it's very small, very few, like very short, very, very, very short. So I just thought I had bigger dreams, bigger goals.
So where did they come from? I don't know what they were.
But they were just surviving.
But would I say it's like you're connected with your intuition? You follow something that deep inside it's your inner.
Yeah, I knew that I had to do it, but I didn't know why or what it was. I just knew that I had to keep those.
Is this how you still live your life?
I keep. Maybe, I don't know. Nah, I just do whatever I want now. I think.
And you told me the other day that you're the first one in your family that finished school, right?
Yeah, finished school.
that finished school and now you are a teacher. Yeah, that is so amazing.
I think I'm the first person in my family to leave the country.
So why did you end up at the Emirates?
So I serve, all my bricks serve, my boyfriend serve, my housemate's maid surfboards in the shed. Everything was surf. The kids that I taught surf. Everything was surf. And then I hurt my shoulder in a surf accident, I guess. I was surfing finless. Arm got caught in the wave. My shoulder was pulled up. My bursa, and I fractured overload in my shoulder. I did 2 years of rehab to try and fix it without surgery. Didn't work. Cortisone injections, I had physio, I had acupuncture, everything. Nothing fixed it. And then I had shoulder surgery, and I was told I wouldn't be able to surf to 6 months to a year. So I don't know if that was my intuition or a midlife crisis, but I said I'm going to move somewhere that has no surf for my rehab. And I moved to the Emirates 1 week after surgery in a sling. And I went to international school, and I was a primary art teacher, and I taught art with my left hand in my Arabic. The kid is speak Arabic.
So you understand Arabic?
Enough to understand what 7-year-olds are saying now.
But not at the beginning.
No. But I was going 6 months to a year, so I could have my rehab, then go back to my real life. And that was, 7 years.
7 years. You're still in Emirates. It's so funny that you said because then I can travel to places like, because you are from Australia, right? To be looking at the map, yeah, you're far from everything.
Take days.
And Emirates, I guess from there you can go into any direction.
Open my eyes to what the world is like.
That's just mental. So you are a surfer dude from Australia. You're living in the desert.
Yeah, desert.
Sometimes you have how many degrees?
Like 65.
65 degrees.
Probably 65 now.
There's still no waves or what? How do you surf? How do you...
Sometimes there are waves. So if there is a like a typhoon in India, then it pushes swell towards the east coast, which goes down Oman, the east coast favourite, so that you can surf there. There's the little right-hand reef free, actually. But the main swell comes if it's really windy in Saudi and it comes into the Arabian Gulf, and then you get shitty wind swell, but still better than nothing.
You're the only woman surfing there, I guess?
I think so. Well, where I surf, I never surf in Dubai as a man in the community there, but I always search for little places, zoom in on the map and see if that's a way.
And then you throw your surfboard in the car, come driving out of the desert.
Yep. The Arab grandmas pull up their seats, they watch me, they offer me Arabic coffee, they want photos.
Do you think that you stayed at the Emirates because of something specific?
I think I stayed there because it showed me how sheltered I was. I think that it gave me the opportunity to grow. I think it gave me the opportunity to stop being in final fight. It gave me the opportunity to see and see about what I like and what I want to do. Whereas I didn't feel like I so much had that.
I really have respect for a white, blonde surfer girl, only English speaking, because you never grew up with any other language. Moving to the Emirates, living in such a different culture, you know, where people wear scarves or shoes to wear, some shoes to wear scarves. But I guess also this Arab culture that I experienced in Morocco is maybe completely different the one there. But what are the main learnings you took away from Emirates?
I'm learning something every day. So as a teacher, the children, have such big personalities so young. Australian kids are amazing. They're great to teach and they love learning, but they just know anything yet. You know, they don't know who they're going to be. They're still such a product of their environment, you know, whereas when I walk in, And I kid you, Emirati kicks form. They've got character, they've got humor, they've got confidence. They have such confidence.
Are we products of our environment that we are born into? You know what I mean? Yeah. Or just some of us? Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Could you find someone lost in Emirates?
There's definitely lost people. I think a lot of people actually go there to find themselves. Especially with teaching or like cabin crew with big sick, people go there and then like, I don't know what I'm gonna be. Or I've just got a divorce, or I'm escapee.
But that's people who come from outside there, huh? But people who are there, yeah. Are they lost?
I don't. Oh, I be so traditional.
You say in Australia you were born in like no religion, no stability from your family backgrounds, right? I see my husband go from the surroundings, social surroundings, could be completely lost. But because of his religion, so he's so much grounded and so much clear in what is for him the good thing and what is not good thing. And I'm wondering if this is somehow also in the Emirates when you're born as Muslim, strong Muslim culture. If that's maybe also what gives you the confidence. I'm religious-less, but I believe it energy, right? And I believe that there's something facets that created us, and I'm very grateful for it every day. And this gives me that trust. Yeah, you know, this gives me that trust to follow my intuition, because I feel like my intuition is so clear. It's given to me because this is my path, and my path is not your path. Or what I mean.
I feel like I can ground within myself. I can ground within my purpose.
What makes you happy?
Wow, huge. Spending time with the people I care about, learning new things, teaching. As a teacher, I feel like I have the power to influence little people to be better people. I don't feel like I can compare myself to others because I haven't grown up the same as others. I could be on the same journey as them. So whatever they want from their journey doesn't have to be the same as what I get from my journey.
So I think it also needs guts, a very open mind, and a very strong and grounded person to be with us.
When my partner and I met, he'd never met anyone like me.
I South African.
Yes, I didn't want to say he's mesmerized, but he never met like top woman or dated anyone that spoke so directly, that was so honest, that was to the point. And that's who I am, because no one ever taught me to be soft. If I'm independent, I do what I want, and I get it done.
What's your secret to become good? Do you want to build?
I think that thing that's helped me the most is always seeing the best of kids. It's never, ever thinking that someone is trying to get something out of me, someone is trying to do this, having negative thoughts about another person, comparing myself to them, being jealous, because then I know that so many people inspired and helped me in a way that I didn't know or that I needed at the time.
Yeah. And you're not really writing that past, I guess. You're not in this past thoughts of, if I would have, then I would have, you know? Like we said before, there's no victim identity. And this is incredible how we are stuck in that thought pattern that it's because of my employee, because of my teachers, because of my mom. I can't, if they say this, go there. Absolutely not.
You're in charge of everything in your own country. Like, if you don't like something, change it. That's it.
What's life about?
I think it's about making sure that giving back. You have no purpose of giving back to others or creating a better place than what it is now, but are you just getting money to then have a family? But do you think that that's what everyone else should be doing? Like, okay.
Do you make plans? Like, do you say, okay, in 1 year, 2 years, I want to reach this or be this? Yeah.
And I tell you, the only plans I make.
Yes, please tell me.
The only plans I make
are travel trips. Okay, cool. This is my West Africa trip. This is my Madagascar surf trip. This is my hiking in Europe trip. This is my, but do you know what I mean? These are all the things, they're the only things I think of. And I figure them out whether I could do it in this type long of my school holiday, this long of my school holiday, or this season. That's up. And I don't actually lock them in. I just have like 5 different trips ready for any time to see how it's. That's the only plan that I do.
And I guess it's also related to being a teacher, right? Obviously, only after school holiday to go.
But other than that, God, there's a play.
And I mean, now you're here without your boyfriend. How can this be? You're in a relationship. You're both on the school holidays, also a teacher, right? So how could you be here without you?
I actually got my surfing this morning. I was thinking that Ezekiel here, well, but here asked me, how can you be here without your husband? I was like, I do what I want when I want, because I want to. You know, like, if I'm the person I'm going to be with isn't okay with that, then it's not the person I'm going to be with. You know, like, we don't have to do everything together. Being in a relationship doesn't mean we have one life. Yeah, this morning we talked on the phone for the second time. 5 weeks. Hey, but you're connected. Sting, I guess. You're trusting each other. You're in aggressive. It's South Africa. Scooting is by my house. It's happy to be home with the family. Yeah, and I'm happy to be in West Africa with you. Surfing.
And just traveling, I mean, you do a lot by yourself, but you also go on girls' trips, friends' trips.
Yeah.
Do you sometimes, is there something that says, okay, I want to go, I'm drawn, for example, I'm drawn to surf Liberia, so this is how I do it, but is there also like doubts, like, fuck, you know, me with my surfboard as a girl, all these people will keep my number and call me and father me. Does that sometimes make you like, I don't want to go out there?
Yes, so actually coming on this trip, do you know what was making me there? The visas.
The visas.
Trying to figure out from where I was in the world with my passport to how I would get visas to here with no rural network was really hard. Like, there was a few points where I was like, is this legal to being like, is carrying a surfboard and a backpack by myself with no lofting plans. I just had a flight in and a flight out. A country, or 5 countries further, you know, like,
Go for it.
but when I get here, I'm always so great. It makes me feel more proud. The orange trip, the brain, say, oh, I did that by myself. That was fine. That wasn't even hard to go to the market, or I don't speak language.
And that was actually very funny. You don't speak any French, Syria and Ivory Coast, but you were, they were all shocked you that you went by yourself as a white woman. No French speaking, and you managed it. Like, you came back, right?
What's the other option? That's what I mean. Like, if you're going to limit yourself to only traveling places or going places to people that you feel comfortable as, then are you, or what is your purpose for doing it? Are you doing it for enjoyment? Are you doing it to better yourself? Because I can, like, when I travel by myself, the joy that I get out of it's much more than when I travel with others. Because I know I have no plans, no boundaries. You know, anything's possible. And then I always, I guess, it's there. And I'm like, wow, I'm so proud of myself. How amazing am I?
Now I need a holiday after riding on all these bumpy roads on a motorcycle, carrying my surfboard, trying to forget this bus driver, get rid of the 5 guys that follow me, want to marry me. No, but I mean, I guess it's about the experience. Like, you come home rich, like each day it's rich, you chant your hearts. What about this role that we women are still expected to fulfill in our society, you know, about this, you should be married by 35 or something. What about kids? I mean, here, especially here, you're confronted with that, right? I guess in Emirates too, where people have kids. What about you? Don't you want to have kids? You're getting like old. It's like, how do you handle society pressure?
If you were aware that everyone was doing it around you, would you actually want it? Or are you just doing it because everyone's doing it, so I should do it? Oh, everyone started, I don't know, getting TikTok. So should I get TikTok? Everyone started buying Range Rovers. So I'm going to buy a Range Rover. I've always wanted a Range Rover. You had no idea about a Range Rover.
But you drive a fit car, right?
4-wheel drive for the desert. But you know what I mean? Like, I think that we have such comparisons on ourselves. And I think every conversation that you have, if you're confident before you're saying, whether it's about that or something else, then that's show. When someone says to me, oh, why don't you have kids? And I say, I'm a teacher. I love kids, but I want my home to be quiet. I don't care right now. Like, I'll be as blunt as I am, not because I'm intensive, but because I also want to show people you don't have to come up with an excuse. You don't have to make a joke about it. It's okay. We don't need to be the same as everyone else, especially as women.
And especially because you are so free of fans. I guess you're also open or you're inside Jamie, right? If there's a different call, it's something inside you says, let's get out of here, right? Yeah, I'm gonna do it. And if something says, let's adopt or have a child, yeah, I'm gonna do it, yeah, right? Oh, but what about safety? What about retirement? What about where is even home for you? I mean, like, you can't stay in Emirates forever, right? You're gonna have to think future.
Now we don't. But the thing is, I will stay there as long as it makes me happy. And then my feelings and opinions and things that I like will change as well. And when they change, then I'll find somewhere else that has those things that will still make me happy. You know? If I am, say, fuck it, I don't want to be a teacher anymore. I want to build a hut and surf somewhere. Yeah. And then I'll just find that place, I'll do that. If I say, oh, I really want to live in a city now, which I probably won't ever. But if I do, then I'll find that. Like,
and do you include your partner? Like, oh, in your mind?
But the thing is, we're also so fine with, if he wants to go South Africa, like, for a year or something, fine. We've lived apart for almost a year, I think. I don't know, we just have such, I didn't have much trust, spits. Because, again, that's how I see all people. Because why would I not see the best in people? Until someone hurts me, I'll always send the best in people. Because otherwise, I have that negativity, that see in me. Why hold that? For what reason? If this person hasn't hurt you before, then why hold it? Why fear the unknown? You know?
And for example, if you have a fall, like first you said maybe like boat life, you know?
Yeah.
Would you speak it? Would you speak it to people? Because I think often the moment we speak it, some say it becomes the truth. Some say it's the chance for other people to kill it. Boat life, are you crazy? Could you, like, you don't even know how to ride a boat? Like, oh, this reparation, oh, this fun, you know what I mean? Or you say it and then you have to do it because you spoke it, so you have to prove to everyone that you're gonna do it, right?
I say whatever I want, whenever I've got to go, I will tell everyone, yes, I'm going to go to West Africa by myself and surf. Yes, I want to live on a yacht one day. Yes, I want to be a native florist. I want to learn to be a pilot. I want to do all these things. And if you're going to put negative energy on me for that, then that's internal with you. Like, I'm only putting goodness out there. I'm only sharing my ideas, hoping that it might be a conversation like trouble about it. So,
do you protect yourself then? In a way, or you just let it, like, you just become see-through, you just let that energy just pass it? Yeah, that's amazing.
But I know that I am, like, quite a big enter. So when something is difficult, my friends, I know that or my partner, that I really hold it for them. But I won't hold it in a negative way. I'll hold it out of love. Yeah. I just don't think that any of us have space enough for negativity, doubts, or fear. Yeah. Like, really, what's the point?
But the funny wise, or sadly, most of us turn around at that fear and in that all ongoing negative sticky, right? Instead of emptying now.
It was like, I could do it. You guys could do it. Everyone can do it. Whatever you want to do it. Yeah, why not?
But how do you find that inner voice? Like, how can you know this is really your inner voice, or how can you know that's not the words of your neighbor or your illusion? Like, how do you really know this is you?
See, I think that you can figure out a lot of who you are when you travel by yourself. Like, I really think that. Or you move countries by yourself, or you at least get out of where you're living and in normality for a while. I feel like you experience things in a different way.
Is there anything you want to tease for anyone that is struggling to really live what they feel or who they are?
I mean, just jump. Do it. Even if it's like a little jump, be proud of yourself. Be confident in what you want to do. You do have to make baby steps to get there. You fail, then that's lies. Failing is a lie. As a teacher, the first thing I teach my kids every year is we all make mistakes. You know, we're all human. We all make mistakes. We're all gonna make mistakes again. Just do it. That's pretty much.
I think that I feel more safe travelling by myself as a woman in West Africa than maybe anywhere else I've been.